Alright people, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification. That way you know when I upload the next video and you'll be supporting my channel. Follow me on Twitter. Every time I upload a new video, I'll be tweeting. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jurex, and this is why I don't trust seagulls by the channel Casual Geographic. Compilation of some of my most popular TikTok videos. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, drink water, hug your mother. He's saying that from the start, I guess. Yeah, seagulls, right? I mean, look, I remember, playing Mafia 1 when I was I don't know, very small. Let's just say I don't remember what age I was. Right, I guess I was 10 or 11 or something. I don't remember that, but it was one of the earlier games that I played on PC. At least I remember feeling how awesome that game was. Mafia 1 this is, right? And I remember there was a mission near the piers where I constantly hear these bird type of noises. You always hear something like that in movies and things wherever there's port is involved. And I just thought, maybe port, something just makes that noise. I never realized that there are I know this is stupid, but I was a kid, that there are actual birds, white birds, right, that makes this kind of noise. They are called seagulls. Then I went to one of the, I guess ferries here, right, and I saw those kind of seagulls flocking to these ferries because apparently all the passengers feed, things to birds, so they just always flock to it. And then I realized, oh wait a minute, these are the one that makes that noise, seagulls. I don't know. I just, I remember I said it. Okay. So this is why I don't trust seagulls. I mean, they're just, they're not, as far as I know, they're not something dangerous, right? They're just, I guess, closer to the, I guess, shore or something always. That's where you find them, right? And they just eat at, I guess, bird food or things like that. I don't know how they are dangerous or not, but we'll see. Remember, people, if you like my reaction, don't subscribe. Check out the reaction. They're selling this and check out the Casual place. Yeah, let's watch it.
Now look at this.
I should probably explain what the hell that is. That was an albino African clawed frog. Some frogs, like the Titicaca frog, look like they went through 3 rounds of liposuction because they live in high-altitude lakes and the extra skin helps them absorb more oxygen. Unfortunately, that's not the case here. This frog is sick and it probably has dropsy. Dropsy is a condition where the fluid that fills the lymphatic...
That thing just caught me off guard because I was expecting seagulls. Usually the title is of the first clip that he plays. So I was expecting seagulls. Suddenly I saw this like, what the fuck? Is this some kind of an alien movie?
The system doesn't drain properly, so it fills up the lymph nodes and builds up outside the cells, which is why the frog looks like a balloon. I'm not 100% sure what causes it, but it can be triggered by a poor diet. It's not a death sentence though, and frogs with dropsy can live for 5 to 8 years, but yeah, the frog is sick. Okay, so I just looked it up and apparently it's caused by a bacterial infection, which means it can be treated by antibiotics as long as the damage to the frog's organs aren't long term. Also, from what I read, putting the frog in distilled water can help because high calcium content water, it can also be a trigger. There's also a chance that the frog is simply just bloated, but it's more likely that he has dropsy. Because I know for a fact there's going to be that one comment, no you can't pop them with a pen, and yes you're a psychopath for even thinking that. He's still cute though. Oh, I learned something today and I desperately need y'all to see this. I was today years old when I found out sea anemone can actually move. Yes, the same thing Nemo lived in and the same thing SpongeBob accidentally watched while trying to find a sports channel. I know I'm going to get that one comment, so I'm just going to say it. Sea anemone aren't plants, they're animals, and they're actually related to jellyfish. They're predators that feed on plankton, shrimp, and even small fish. They hunt by acting innocent and lulling their victim into a false sense of security before they snatch their soul and never let go. Basically, get out with more water. Most anemone have stinging tentacles that can clap fish, and some like the Dophlenia over here can cause severe pain in humans for months. The reason this one didn't cause a family reunion in the afterlife is because clownfish are covered in mucus that protects them from the sting. Also, clownfish poop provides nutrients for the anemone, so he basically lets them rock. But like, I knew all that, but I didn't know they could move. You can find this video on YouTube or if you're SpongeBob on C-Hub. Man said popcorn, but hold the opsy. What a savage.
C-Hub.
I should probably explain what the hell that was. That was an Atlantic sea hare, but down south you'll hear it be called a Florida inkfish. And what is a sea hare, you ask? It's basically a large kind of sea slug, and as a mollusk they're related to octopus and cuttlefish, and like them, they can squirt ink whenever they get pressed. Because of its diet of red algae, its ink is actually purple, but luckily it's non-toxic. This specific one is an Aplysia fasciata, also known as a sooty sea hare. It's the most common kind you'll find in the Sunshine State. Even though its ink is non-toxic, they basically sweat poison, which is why eating one can make you sick. But some people will eat their eggs as a delicacy because of course it's Florida, they have no rules. By far the weirdest thing about them is their sex life. They form literal trains because as hermaphrodites they can pitch and catch. In this forbidden conga line, the sea hare will bust its baby batter into the one in front of him while simultaneously taking it from the one behind.
Oh.
And now you know this sea hare was either going to or coming from an unspeakable choo-choo party. Aren't you glad you follow me?
Why do rhinos have two horns? One that's bigger and one that's smaller.
I'm so glad you asked. First of all, not all rhinos have two horns. The Indian and Javan rhino have one. The black, white, and Sumatran rhinos have two. Before I answer your question, let me explain why this horn is so important. Rhinos use their horns to dig in the ground for water, females use them to gently guide their babies, and males use them to move their poop into piles to mark their territory. By far the most important part is that rhinos use those 20 to 50 inch weapons to square up with lions and hyenas, and males use them to fight over females and territory. If a rhino loses its horn, it loses its biggest intimidation factor against predators and especially against other rhinos who see hornless rhinos as weaker. So to answer your question, if they lose or damage the first horn, the second horn is basically a backup as the first one grows back. It takes 3 years for a rhino horn to grow back completely, and 3 years without your only defense in the savannah is basically a death sentence. Think about it, when you're surrounded by nothing but ops, you wouldn't have just one strap. I'm talking about guns, by the way. Long story short, rhinos in dangerous environments have two horns because evolution was not kind to the ones with one. The more you know. I can't make you like.
Yeah, so that kind of makes sense. In Africa, yeah, you need two horns. In African meta, as the Tirzu likes to call it, the most dangerous meta on the planet, yeah, you need two horns. In India, it's fine. I mean, what the fuck are you gonna fight, right? I mean, yeah, there's a chance you'll come across Bengal tiger or something, sure. But that's only in the Bay of Bengal or area like that. Everywhere else, what? You'll eat what? Grass? What you gonna come across? This is India. So it's like, yeah, one horn is already way too much of an overkill. But in Africa, oh, you need two horns, you won't survive otherwise.
Like rats a little more, you can go ahead and unfollow me. Rats are ticklish and they actually giggle when you do it, it's just that it's so high pitched that you would normally never hear it. Mice and rats blush when they're happy and you can tell when their ears become a more vivid pink. Rats are extremely clean and they spend a lot of time grooming and washing themselves. Not only that, but they bond by cleaning each other, which is called allo-grooming, and for a rat, the ultimate sign of trust is letting someone else do their hair. Rats are also neat freaks that'll occasionally organize their food into piles. Pet mice can form strong emotional attachments with humans. Not only will rats react with excitement when they hear their owner's voice, they'll try to groom their human friend as if they were a rat in their own family. And these bonds can easily last a rat's entire life. They're not only highly intelligent, but they can show empathy and compassion. In an experiment, one rat was held in a special cell-like device and one was put outside of it. And every time the rat on the outside got extremely nervous and tried to free the other rat, even though he himself had nothing to gain by doing so. They got racially profiled because it turns out they're actually not responsible for the plague that clapped 200 million people. Scientists believe people caught the plague from other people, not rats. Rats sing like songbirds when they're really happy. Hope this helps. Legal facts, but they're actually the...
Yeah, I mean, the Black Death thing, right? I mean, rats, the evil rats, kill all of them, purge every single rats. I mean, look, I don't know the more detail about the Black Death. Was that, was the disease jump from rats to people? Could have been, even though even that is not rats' fault, right? But rats are the ones spreading it. I don't know if animal doesn't spread like that, right? Disease can jump from animal to human. It will happen in rare instances, and one of the places it will happen, but it will not repeatedly happen. Once it jumps, now human is the one who's basically spreading it through, not the rats. So killing rats won't do anything. Just social distancing. That's the answer. Wear masks and social distancing, not kill rats. But I guess nobody knew that in that time. Right, when everybody was just basically all they could do is pray the disease goes away because they didn't even know what was happening, I guess. Yeah.
Spawn of Satan. Seagulls will gouge baby seals and eat their eyes, and with a baby seal blind, they attack their weak points because seagulls have zero shame. They'll eat literally anything, including rats and rabbits, and this felony Tweety will even pick on sick lamb. They're bullies that'll assault other birds in the air and steal food from them. They'll dive bomb and attack other birds until they drop whatever food they're carrying. Sometimes they'll harass birds that have already eaten and force them to vomit just so this feathery bastard can eat it. They're also cannibals that'll swallow baby chicks whole with zero hesitation or remorse because seagulls are one of the few birds with a negative rice purity score. Did I mention they'll go after your dog too? British seagulls have been known to snatch, kidnap, and murk small dogs like chihuahuas. A seagull will really try to eat your dog and they won't apologize for it. On top of that, this flying Buffalo Bill isn't shying about eating the bodies of the dead, including the corpses of its own children. And would you believe they started running fades with people too, and once again, it's the British seagulls that are the worst. One seagull tried to snatch food from a little boy's hands and instead almost took some of his fingers off. The largest seagulls have a wingspan of nearly 6 feet, making them bigger than my mental health was prepared for. These Lucifer canaries don't fear God because they are the feathery Antichrist.
All the things he just basically spew out just now, all the facts, is just fucking terrifying. I started the video thinking, seagulls, they're not seagulls, there's no issue. Apparently that's not true. That's literally opposite of what seagulls are. Seagulls are psychopaths. Seagulls, let's just say, nature abused them or something and they have mental issues. So they are psychopaths. Holy shit. I didn't know none of this shit. Now I'm gonna be afraid of seagulls. I'm not gonna lie. I'm afraid that they're gonna eat away my fingers or something. And 6 feet of wingspan? What are these fucking those giant bats or giant eagles type of thing? I never saw a seagull that has a 6 feet wide wingspan from end to end. That's way too big, man.
So you know that joke where everything in Australia with a pulse is specially designed to make sure you don't have one? It's not a joke. Well, there's a plant that can make you suicidal. Dendronide moroids, aka the Gimpy plant, is covered in stinging hairs that, when touched, penetrate the skin and release a powerful neurotoxin. And that toxin is a ticket to all 9 circles of hell because the pain is described as being burned by scalding hot acid while being electrocuted. One poor bastard used this plant as toilet paper, and the anal assault that followed was so unbearable he shot himself. Bernie Ryder got slapped in the face with this plant in 1963, and until 1965 all—
Man, I love this channel, but you can't just walk away from that. You can't just describe that this plant has a neurotoxin that basically makes you feel like some kind of a acid is poured into your skin and you're being electrocuted, and then somebody wiped his ass with it and it was so unbearable in his ass that he shot himself. You can't just walk past that. You have to take a pause after that, man. Holy shit. Now I'm afraid to go to Australia. Not in the cities, probably in outbacks or something. I don't think I would ever go there. And if I go there, I'm not touching nothing. I'm just like, wear armor that nothing touches my skin and just take photos. That's what I would do. I'm not taking in nature while I go there.
He knew was pain. A World War II soldier fell face first into the suicide pack of a plant and had to be strapped to a hospital bed to keep him from canceling his own subscription to life.
Oh my
Once
God.
those hairs get on you, you would develop painful welts that would be highly sensitive to touch, changes in temperature, and water. Which means if you tried to take a shower afterwards, you would be in unbelievable agony. And you want to know why I respect and fear Australians? The same plant that can hand you 13 reasons at once is the same plant they eat, just as long as the stinging hairs are removed. And it's not just humans that are victims. A horse allegedly ate this plant and then proceeded to Hannah Baker itself, proving that Australia is Lucifer's sandbox. Okay, so I got a lot of questions like this, so here's the best way.
Seriously, I mean, I know I'm not talking about the Europeans that went to Australia, Aborigines or whatever the natives are. I'm surprised they survived, right? Whatever time they survived, I'm surprised. I'm surprised that population didn't just, I guess, went extinct because of how fucked up the whole meta of Australia is, meta server of Australia. Every animal is deadly, even the plants could kill you in 50 different ways. Holy shit.
I can explain this. The short version is poisonous means you die if you bite it, venomous means you're a pack if it bites you. Poison is a toxin that gets into the body through swallowing, inhaling, or absorption. Remember that Family Guy scene?
If you use Toad,
Yeah.
then I'm telling you, you can kiss your life goodbye.
That was a dated reference, but because some desert toads contain bufotoxins, you can become a chalk outline just by licking them. This frog is considered the most poisonous thing on the planet because its toxins block nerve impulses, causing the muscles responsible for your breathing to stop, making you do the mannequin challenge
It's
permanently.
yellow.
Venom involves a bite or a sting that puts you on a stretcher. The most venomous thing on the planet is the box jellyfish because those stinging cells inject a neurotoxin that can cause cardiac arrest before you even leave the water and make it onto shore. What makes them venomous is the fact that they inject it into your body. But because nature's one big middle finger, some animals like this scaly bastard can be venomous and poisonous. The Asian tiger snake not only has a venom-injecting bite, but its diet of poisonous frogs means its skin is more toxic than the Shade Room comments.
I mean, look at the orange stripes. The thumb rule I have now, right after reacting to both of these channels, Tier Zoom, Casual Geographic, even the Frank one, that if something has a, flamboyantly bright colors, just stay away from it. That it probably has some kind of a fucked up, venom or, poison or whatever.
And if you still can't tell the difference, just remember this. Poison in the mouth, it's about to go south. Venom, if it bites, your coffin sealed tight. You can go flax, but it slowly gets more— I definitely just said flax. I don't care, I'm not re-recording. This picture looks like a torn ACL, but those are actually the flamingo's ankles. Their knees are so high up, they're usually covered by feathers. They're born gray, but turn pink because of the carotene and the brine shrimp they eat. The same thing can happen to you if you eat enough carrots because the carotene will turn you orange. Also, there are black flamingos. African flamingos stand in water so toxic, it would strip the skin off your legs in 2 minutes. Also, they can drink boiling hot water. This isn't a flamingo trying to collect life insurance on his wife, it's 2 flamingos feeding their chick with pink crop milk. Other than penguins and pigeons, they're the only birds that can produce crop milk. Don't be fooled though, they can be some trash parents because sometimes they'll abandon their chick for no reason other than vibes. In 2019, when an African dam dried, these pink tweeties left 2,000 chicks to die. Luckily, the flamingo chicks were rescued by people, but the parents didn't just say fuck kids, they said fuck nursery. Don't think they're loyal either. Flamingos actually have a divorce rate of 99%, so if a pair do mate for life, it's because they didn't have any better options. Greater flamingo can roll in squads of thousands. Because they have no real way to defend themselves, so their best defense against a predator is hoping their neighbor gets clapped instead of them. Animals that I am 90% sure only exist in this realm as Pokemon. Glaucus atlanticus. Even its name sounds like a Pokeball-wielding battle cry. It's actually a sea slug whose bright blue colors help it camouflage in the ocean. Delphininia armata. Can you imagine squaring up with a guy and he says that name followed by I choose you? You'd be respectfully down terrible just off the name. It's a striped sea anemone with a painful sting that takes months to recover from. The main wolf, and I'm not gonna lie, he's probably very low tier. He's not even a wolf or a fox, he's just his own thing. Half of his diet is vegetable matter, so you already know he has no bag. He might have mane in his name, but nobody's choosing him. The golden brush-tailed possum. He's a Tasmanian marsupial that hides in trees, but if he also sneezed electricity, I would not be shocked. I mean, technically I would be, but I wouldn't be surprised. The Baird's Tapir. A 700-pound flaccid-faced powerhouse of a Pokemon that could bite your arm clean off. Definitely one of the most disrespectful Pokemon you can collect. And if you like collecting Pokemon, you'll like this dragon collecting game. It's a game where you can— that was such a terrible transition. Look, download it if you want, if not, that's cool, but yeah, I'm gonna go, that was embarrassing.
Fuck that, I'm not doing this, right?
Spread the good word.
I love that. Okay, if you want to play the— man, I'm not doing this, man. Fuck that, he just walked off the screen.
Not only do manatees have hands, they have fingernails too. They evolved from a four-legged land animal that looks like an unethical liaison between a hippo and a deformed pig. Thank God this version got patched. They might have the weirdest family tree in the world because they're related to aardvarks, elephants, and the rock hyrax. They're physically incapable of being aggressive because their teeth are great at grinding grass but useless for biting. They couldn't hurt you if they wanted to. If an alligator and a manatee bump into each other, the 12-foot carnivore gives the manatee the right of way. The only bad thing is manatees expect the same treatment from boats and it ends really badly. Literally the only natural predator they have are humans on boats, which is why they're a protected species in Florida. Touching a manatee can make you $500 poor and cost you 60 days of freedom. At 11 feet 1,000 pounds, the African manatee is one of the biggest vegans on the planet. When I was 6, I had a stuffed manatee named Manny, and one of the biggest unsolved mysteries in my life is whatever happened to Manny. Columbus thought manatees were mermaids, and I cannot guarantee you he didn't try to have sex with them. They basically fart to stay afloat. After 50 years, they were taken off the endangered species list in 20.
What weird women did Columbus had sex with that he mistaken manatee for a woman? I don't know.
2017. I currently write jokes for Family Guy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there you go. This is why I don't trust seagulls and many other things. Something terrifying and God, and it's something really good about rats. I mean, those facts are fucking awesome. It's not surprising people have rats as pet, right? I mean, I'm never a pet guy, right? I never have pets. Maybe because I have some mild form of OCD or something, but I don't know. But yeah, rats are fucking awesome the way they sound, basically. It's surprising that, you know, Casual Geographic would give you facts that actually make you go like, oh. It's usually like, oh, look at this thing, it will kill you 50 million ways. Alright people, if you like my Rick Sandu, like, subscribe, check out the Rick Sandy, there's a link in the description, check out the cards, so basically the cards. Yeah, follow me on Twitter, and I'll